Hey cat fans, today I am going to be teaching you a very important life lesson, how to use this drawing software. Well, it's not really software, it's a website. I will leave the description to this website in the description, or I'll leave the link, I'll leave the link in the description. This episode is about the basics of using this Sketchpad website. And this is actually a really good website. You can draw a lot with it. So I'm going to start with the basics here. So first, to customize this, to make sure that everything saves properly, go ahead and go up here. By the way, this is how you should start out when you open this up. Go up here and click on Settings. And it should ask you if you want to autosave, snap to guides, language. And then you could also choose the theme, actually. And choosing the theme would look like this. You can choose anything you want. But I'm going to keep it the way it is. And I'm going to enable autosave. And yeah. There we go. Okay, so now, once you just click out the screen here, it'll automatically autosave. Keep the tab open, though, if you want to make sure it saves properly. Don't close out of the tab. So, for a beginning guide, this is the pencil, and this is where you can change the size of your brush. So take a look. This is 2 pixels, and you could go all the way up to 223. By the way, little tip here, click Control Z to undo. I think the maximum brush size is 250. Which is this big. You can literally cover the screen in a few swipes. And then I'm going to Control Z to undo. Okay, let's bring it back to normal size. Normal size was 2 pixels. I'm just going to leave it on 2.3. It doesn't matter. But outline means what color your stroke is going to show up as. This is black. And you can also change. I'm just going to do a light blue. There. And fill. If you click fill, also with this, if you want a shading or light on the subject, here's what you want to do. I'm gonna go back into black. You see linear, radial, and pattern. So take a look and watch what this will do to your brush stroke. This is actually pretty cool. Look at that. It looks just like shiny metal, actually. So now I'm gonna undo this. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty amazing. And what shows up is what the color is gonna be no matter what. So I'm gonna use this now. What this is gonna do is this is going to it's going to detect where the half screen meets, or where the half in the middle, where the middle meets. And it's going to automatically adjust what color's on top, what color's on bottom. So that's a pretty cool trick. And with radial, here's what happens if you do radial. There. It kind of looks the same, but it's kind of spread out differently. And with pattern, you can choose different patterns to go along with your brush stroke, like this. I have a cool furniture look, kind of. So let's go ahead and undo all this. Okay. So that was a guide to the pencil, kind of. Now this thing here is set stroke opacity. It doesn't really do anything, I don't think. And this is a basic tutorial, so this is basic stuff, not advanced stuff. Okay, let's set it back to 2.3. Let's go back to regular colors. These are solid colors, by the way. And here, what you can do is you can adjust the color by dragging your mouse along this screen. You can adjust the color and then just let go, and it will do that color. Okay. And this eyedropper, watch what happens when you do this eyedropper. Okay, let's say I'm going to draw in blue here. Just stroke down. And I need the same exact color, but let's say that I accidentally clicked out of it and I don't remember what it was. So to get that exact color, we can use the eyedropper and watch that. It automatically detects the color. So then you want to click on the color, and there, you have the same exact color all over again. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to explore some of these other options. So these are just the basic tools. Calligraphy or calligraphy, doesn't matter, but here's what happens when you do this. It has like a cool touch to it. As you can see, this would be good for like making kind of 3D swervy things. I'm not sure. I haven't experimented much with this, but here we go. Take a look. Let's say we want to make an accurate loop. And then we go ahead and connect it. There. See? Look at that. Okay. There. That'd be good for like making any kind of wristband or anything. That would look pretty cool. Streamers, just like that, but it's kind of different. It looks like a streamer. And with the streamer things and some other things like the pen, you can choose, as you can see, it's thinner down here, but then it gets thicker. And how you can control that is you move these around. And you can watch the image kind of change a little bit. So here's how it would look with that. And as you swipe faster and faster, it will get thicker and denser. Well, not really denser, but thicker. And if you go slow, but if you go quick, slow, quick. There. Okay. Now, let's show you the arrow. The arrow, you just add arrows, literally. You can make an arrow. Huh. And now if you want to fill the inside of your shapes, click fill. I'm going to fill it with this color. Actually, and then I'll show you this later, but I will show you how to actually fill things. You could also use curved. With curved, I mean you can fill the color automatically. Without curved. There. Okay. So next we have path. Path is like the same thing as line, but kind of different. So, to lay down your path, let's make this entirely black again. And realize how here, when you open up outline, choose your color, and then you have line width, and you have milter, bevel, or round corners. And as you can see, it kind of changes. Okay, we're going to choose round this time. I have never experimented with this before. But what I just did there was you click the screen. Don't hold unless you want to make something like this. This is what happens if you hold it. Boom. And then you can like go around and you can curve things. Kind of experiment with this one. This is what happens if you don't hold, but when you just move things around. And then you can do this. Move it around on its axis. Make a triangle. There we go. Okay. Now, let's move on to something else. Stamp. Stamp I haven't really experimented with much, but you can stamp different sorts of shapes, I assume, on here. Yes. So we have this entire selection of things. Let's use this weird foot. Let's use a foot. Now you just want to click on that to get out. Stamp, stamp. That isn't a foot, but there. Okay, there we go. There. So, like I said, you kind of got to experiment with things. It kind of randomizes it every time. Okay. Now when you go down here, you have a bunch of different options that you can use. And to take the randomizing away from this, what you want to do is just center it on one thing. That takes the randomizing away. So we're gonna move the scale up here. How big is that? Not very big, so let's make this bigger. There, kind of scooch it up. So now you have a equally spaced footprint. Equally sized, and then spacing, like I said, take the randomizing away if you don't want the randomizing. And then if you don't want your rotating to be randomized, just do it like that. There we go. Okay, now what you want to do, we're going to go ahead. And by the way, you can also change the color too, I believe. Let's just try this blue color. Yeah, you can. Okay, now, let's use the star. The star can be multiple shapes. This is how you lay down your shapes. This is how I use sketching to get a perfect circle, a pie, any kind of shape like that. So, here's how I usually start my sketches. As you can see, it's already selected the setting for us, but just take that away. Now, this will be the outline, and by outline, I mean when you click white, here's what'll happen. There will be a black line on the outside, and the rest of the circle will be white. And let's say, yeah, and you want your fill to be different color there. And you can still see the black on the outside, kind of. Okay, now cutout. With cutout, you can just make the inside of the circle go outwards. Like that. So if you want like this ring thing there, go ahead and do that. Okay. And you also have a bunch of different shapes that you can experiment with. Like these are gears. We got other things, radial burst. Huh. And like I said, you can also use your linear and radial pattern effects. Just experiment with that. I'll show you what that looks like. There. Okay. Now let's go on to text. You can just add text to your drawings. And here's what'll happen. So you can also choose your font that you would like. There are many, 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 many fonts to choose from. There's a whole page list. Okay. I'm just going to choose something completely random. And you could go ahead and drop your text somewhere. It doesn't matter because you can change it later. If you try to click backspace, it will not delete. What you have to do is click at the end or click somewhere here and it'll delete. And there. You can just type anything you want. And once you have your chosen text, go ahead and go up here and click select. And what select is going to do, it'll select this text box here and it will move it around wherever you want. You can also change the size and you can also flip it upside down, backwards, anything you would like. Just keep it normally. Okay. There. Okay. Now next we have clip art. You can actually upload your own images, which I'm not going to do right now, but to load your own image, all you got to do is when you click load your image, it will pop up with your files and then click the image you want and then poof, it'll be on the screen. So we have a bunch of clip art that has been generated by this. Let's use a cat. And it'll just appear on the screen. Like I said, you can make it upside down. You can do anything you want with it. Change it to any size you want. And blend mode, I wouldn't say that you would want to mess with that because that's very advanced. But like I said, if you know how to do this stuff, go ahead. So now let's go out of that. I'm going to save vector fill for later. Now, crop and resize. You can crop your image. By what I mean by that is, let's go ahead and draw something. Let's draw a circle. And you kind of mess up over here. And this is the art that you really want to save in the middle. And so how you do that, if you want to crop this, go like that. Okay, and double click to crop. Boom. And then it crops your image. You can choose like what size you want it to be, I guess. Here, length, height, set constraints, stuff like that. And then when you go out of this cropping thing, it'll just stay put like that, like I said. Okay. And now you want to select, there. I'm just gonna go ahead and take everything off the screen. Okay. Kind of mess with that one. That'd be pretty fun. Zoom, all zoom does if you're drawing something. And then let's draw a little dot in the middle. Black. 1 pixel. Then we drop 1 pixel there. You can barely see it, but if you want to zoom in, just take this thing and zoom in. You can zoom in on anything you want there. You can go all the way in if you would like. You can go as far as you want, but we're gonna leave it back to normal sizing here. There. Okay. Now we have history. You can see things that you've done. Like in the future, now. Here's what we did just back then, but I've undoed. Undoing won't show up on there. Layers, you can add layers, I guess. Layers of different objects. So if we look here, actually, let's make this a bit bigger. There. Dot, 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 dot. Okay, layers. It will show all of these different layers on here. You can view them, and you can also send to front, send to back, send backwards, send forwards, duplicate, or delete. Here's what happens if you duplicate. It'll just make a new one. Simple as that. Control Z to undo. Okay, now we're going to save the best thing for last. I obviously find the best. Okay, let's go ahead and draw something. What I'm going to draw is I'm going to draw just a really bad cat to show you how this works. I know it looks really bad. This is just experimental. Now, here's what happens if you want to add color to this thing, but you don't want to go manually and just some colored in yourself, because that is it. That you're obviously gonna end up messing up probably. Let's make this cat orange, an orangey color. So do not set it on vector fill. Do not set on vector fill. Go here to click on vector fill and change it to pixel fill, and it will automatically detect lines. They can be any color you want. They will detect lines, and let's change this to orange again, and watch this. You want to click over the space that you want to do this, and click. As you can see, it hasn't done this completely right. And why it's doing that is, here we go. Let's go back and do this again. Okay. Everything's set up properly. By the way, there's a lot more options down here that you can kind of mess with. But we're on pixel fill, we're on color. Boom. And then it should, but sometimes it's kind of glitchy, but kind of center it in there. There. So that's how it works. And you can draw all over it and stuff. And here's what happens if you do it completely wrong. So if you're having this issue, I'll show you why. And you don't realize this, but you haven't connected your lines all the way. The color's going to go outside the lines. obviously. Like that. That's what happens. But then to fix this, all you have to do is connect your lines like that. Now try filling it and then select and put it back over here where it belongs. And if you're looking to fill more, go ahead and go for it. Okay, and like I said with the select tool, you can select different shapes and objects to move them around, which is pretty cool. So this is going to end episode 1 or part 1 of basic knowledge of this. And keep living with the dark forest.